Hi, it's Ebony again, and I definitely wanted to follow up with a closed beta testing discussion. Um, I've just finished my closed beta. I had a candle lit because I light a candle at, to say that I'm done with work. So I probably shouldn't. I don't consider these YouTube videos work. I consider them just like updates to to everyone. So I'm done with work. And I wanted to talk about closed beta testing because I'm in the midst of closed beta testing. And um, it's so interesting, like to close beta test and what that means and like how you do it. And I definitely think we had a good way of closed beta testing where you participate for our closed beta test. You participate in the opening of the app and the interaction of the app for 10 or 20 minutes with me, the product development lead. And during that participation, I record it 25% of the time. So I didn't record all the interviews, but I recorded 25% of them. And I go through the app with the user. I try to figure out what they don't understand when going through the app, and what they liked and what their feelings were throughout their experience within the app. And I wrote my notes down at the very least, and some of them I recorded. And it was very interesting to see like what their roadblocks were. And immediately after even just 10 of the interviews, I was able to identify emergency development updates, like things that were just stopping people from understanding the app. So during that time, we developed emergency updates, things that had to happen in order for us to open beta and have more significant amount of testing during open beta. So that was interesting. And for the closed beta test, because we were doing this research project with Stanford, we had to do 2 tests with each user, which I actually recommend everyone do 2 tests. So one, opening the app with the user, understanding their experience while they're opening the app, and then a second follow-up test. And I had my second follow-up test today, and I was so overwhelmed by it because although most of the users opened the app multiple times after participating with me, this user that I was interviewing for the first time, the first interview, did not open the app again. I played with it with her and she never opened it up. And I was like, I wasn't prepared for that. I didn't even have questions ready for this, but I was like, you know what? Go ahead, girl. You do you. We'll ask you questions anyway. And the questions that I asked were so incredibly helpful. Like, I asked about what are the other apps that she opened throughout the I had a period of 2 to 3 weeks where I did the first interviews, and then the next 2 to 3 weeks I did the second interviews. So she had at least 1 week on the app, and I asked her, what are the other apps that you opened on your phone? And after talking to her, I realized that she is just a different type of person. And the kind of apps that she was opening were different than what our app offered. But we do plan on offering the things that she was opening up. So now I'm a second insight that I hope to gain from the follow-up closed beta test is what other apps are they using, so that I can sort of tell what should be the next development update. Although we did, pay for the emergency updates and go through and do the emergency updates, things that they didn't understand immediately. But what are the next development updates that we need to be thinking of? And by doing this, I thought, one, she willingly decided to take this test. It was 20 minutes with me, this test. And so she must have somewhat been interested in this concept, but something was missing enough for her to not reopen the app. She was obviously interested enough to go through this 20-minute test, so she is in our category of people, but there was something that was going on that was stopping her from doing the second time, from following up and doing it. And after the experience, it was awesome. I honestly, I hope we became lifelong friends. I feel like we did. I'm not going to say her name, but we had a good time during this closed beta test. It was supposed to be a 20-minute follow-up, and it ended up being an hour-long discussion with me talking about all sorts of things. It was fun. But I also learned a lot about the users and learned more about what we should probably develop next. I hope this little closed beta testing insight was helpful. Make sure to like and subscribe. Bye.